We're going to do a little bit of sour.
Hold on, we got to start it over.
Why?
Because this thing turned off and then I just turned it back on. It's going now.
Okay, okay. I couldn't be doing it any better.
Right
Okay, give me a second. Michael, I'm gonna kill you. Hi guys, welcome to Poor People. My name is Anna. We are actually at Tonic today. We're gonna be making the Tonic bomb. So we're gonna add ice into the shaker. It is made in a reusable keg. So we get it from the tap. We're gonna shake this and pour it in there. So I like mine with Sprite, and then I'm gonna add Red Bull in the next one. And this is the soup of the day. Cheers, Kyle. That was good. It was really good. Fantastic. Okay, so we are actually gonna do the NA version. Make sure to fill that shaker up with ice. We're gonna do lime juice, lemonade, cranberry, and then we're just gonna shake that. And then we're gonna add Sprite. You can add Sprite, you can add Red Bull, whatever you'd like to do, but I like Sprite in mine. Cheers, guys. Good.
So, whoever wants to start us off.
Welcome to Poor People.
Welcome. We are here with KP, aka the man, aka the myth, aka the legend.
AKA, if you don't know who KP is, his name is Kyle.
Don't believe him.
We have talked about you so much on this podcast. Well, one of us has. I don't want to point fingers, but I'm just kidding.
So our soup of the day is cherry limeades. Tonic is actually known for this. Kyle created this, actually,
I did
right?
not.
I thought you did.
Megan Spicer created this.
Oh, Miss Megan Spicer. I haven't heard that name in a while.
I was going to say.
She's
Yeah,
really great.
She created it.
She's super great.
I like cherry limeade. I went to the bar she was working at and loved it, wanted to have it, and then got control down here at Tonic when I first started. And they had a margarita on tap at the time, and I was like, this has got to change, and this has to be it. So, and ever since, it's been the Tonic Bomb, AKA the cherry limeade.
Yeah, so that is what we're drinking. But me and Haley are drinking the NA version, and Jaydn has the drink of it. It comes with Sprite with a drink, or you can get Red Bull with it.
Wait, I'm the only one drinking alcohol?
You're the only one drinking alcohol.
That's why I'm sweating so bad.
And Kyle is actually drinking one of our NAs that we serve here. It is one of our many NAs.
Sick. I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
Is this an inside joke? I'm not laughing.
No, everybody's drinking NAs.
And he's not. He's drinking the alcohol. Yeah. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Jaydn.
God, is it really hot in here? What is going on?
We actually have several different NA versions here at Tonic. That's what we're also known for a little bit of. We dabble in the NA cans. One that's really popular here is the hop water from Lagunitas, and it's been out for a hot minute, but we're getting it back this week, which it is like a seltzer, and it's really, really good, really good. A lot of our regulars like to drink it when they are not consuming alcohol. And then we also have the THC drinks.
Correct.
That we also, instead of having an NA version, you can also have the Delta 9 drinks that are in there. So which ones do we have of that?
Right now we have... I think we just got Climbing Kites, and we have Happy Can.
Yeah.
Two choices, root beer and a seltzer.
Ooh. Yeah, they're both seltzers, right? The Climbing Kites.
Oh.
And then the flavors are root beer, black cherry, and then Climbing Kites. Right?
We have two Climbing Kite. I only knew that we got one.
No,
so.
we have the Happy Cans that are two. We have two flavors of Happy
Correct.
Can, and then we have one flavor of the Climbing Kites. So just to give you a difference of like not having like alcohol, you can, instead of having like an NA can beer, you can also have the Delta 9 drinks that we do offer here as well.
Is that still NA?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
because
because it's non-alcohol.
right.
So yeah, it's definitely still an NA.
Yes, it's definitely NA. And I mean, I want the options for everybody. People
Right.
who like alcohol, people who don't like alcohol, people who like THC. I think it even helps some people who like alcohol not drink as much. So like if you came in on a weekday and you work 9 to 5 and you want to have yourself something, you don't have to have alcohol. You can have a THC and chill.
Yeah.
THC and chill. Hell yeah.
So with actually getting the THC drinks, what like we had to go through a lot of like hoops and things like that though too, right?
Just getting a license, and I mean you do have to pay the licensing fee, but it wasn't too terrible. And your distributor of choice generally they'll walk you through it. Pretty simple.
It's
pretty
a
simple.
Completely different license.
Completely different license.
So is it like do you have to be able to like sell like other CBD like do you have that right now that you have the license to be able to sell like other CBD stuff or THC stuff?
Yes, but to all the regulations, you know how they took it from 10 down to I'm pretty sure it's 4, and it's per can, not per serving.
Oh, okay.
So now, at which it is what it is. I mean, if you do a lot of THC, you're gonna probably not like it as much. But at the same time, it's not about getting you messed up, in my opinion. It's more somebody who is about THC. They go out with their friends. Not everybody's doing THC, and they're doing
Right.
alcohol. It gives them something to do.
Yeah.
I mean, same with NA beers. I believe that it makes it seem kind of bad when I say it, but it makes it more comfortable, just comfortable. Like
Right.
instead of getting a water with a lime in a glass, like you just have an option. And I mean, on the other side, being the bar owner, like, why do I want you ordering a water? You know, and I've seen more reach out for the NA beer, and I enjoy them also. Like, you can't pound.
Yeah, all of you do.
Well, technically, I'm an IPA drinker. I like the IPAs
I do too, yeah.
in all their glory, but they're 8%. You know, you can't slam them like Bush Lights, or you're going to be in
Right.
trouble. Well, I've
Yeah.
found very nice with the BrewDog here is having an IPA, then have an NA, then have an IPA, then have an NA, and then you're still continuing on. I mean, placebo effect also when you're not drinking. Haley, you've taken a break. I for the longest time was taking breaks during Lent for multiple different reasons, not just religious, but like it's a great time to stop. There's a start-stop point, and I did that 8 years to just I don't know, just take a break, right? I mean, taking a break is fine.
Yeah, we can agree on that. Haley and I have done that and whatnot. I mean, Jaydn has done it like once or twice too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But it also like it gives you because we like to be social. We want to be able to go out and stuff like that. We don't want to feel like we're pressured to drink. So like having that option, it's like, yeah, I'll come out. I can have an NA, and it just makes you be able to have that social aspect and be comfortable, like you said, Kyle, and just be able to hang out with your friends and not have to worry about getting super drunk or anything like that, especially when you're not drinking and you're trying really hard not to drink. So I think that's a really cool.
Well, I also agree with the THC in that aspect. I'm not getting into all of the should we have this much or should we have changed this, but I'm not the biggest user of THC. I've had a few drinks, right? But like I'm 4% is good, or 4 whatever milligrams is perfect.
Yeah.
Have you seen like a spark in interest since you guys have included like more of the like NA beers? Because you guys are like one of the top NA bars anyways that like has the biggest selection of NA beers. Like, have you seen like a spike in like, since you guys do offer more, that more people would come down here to get like NAs and stuff like that?
I think I'm going more in the direction of where I was at, where a person that doesn't want to drink alcohol tonight, they might have a THC drink to not have to worry about, you know, first of all, you have one, you might have 10, you know, something like that, like, and they just feel better in the morning. I don't know. I just feel it's a good swap out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and just like you said, like the inclusivity of that is like really awesome because I know like some of my friends that are completely sober, like from weed too, or THC as well. They would specifically come to Tonic because you guys had a bigger selection of NA beers. So like, I was just curious if you get more people that like come in that are like specifically looking for like a different NA beer or like.
Well, I just think that a lot of, and nobody's done this yet, but an NA bar.
Right.
And I don't know if there will be, but I mean, it's almost as similar to something as in, I don't know if you guys remember, aging myself, but non-smoking bars was a thing at one point. I mean, I remember going to the bar, club, all this, getting home, waking up in the morning, and what's that smell?
Reeking of cigarettes.
Reeking of cigarettes. And I'm like, oh man, well, there was, if you don't know, I'll let you know, the lift down here that's still in operation. And then it's not anymore, but there was only two. There was the cab in Johnston, and they were way ahead of their time. And then they changed the law, and it was so much better.
So wait, did this used to be a smoking bar then?
Never inside smoking, because we are a cigar bar.
Right.
We are classified
and you
as
guys have the whole patio.
Correct, and we have a plethora of cigars that you can smoke, and the patio for cigarette smoking too. But like the inside aspect, like outside, a little different, but inside, I can tell you, it's one of the best things that ever happened, where people thought that they were getting their rights taken away or whatever. I mean,
Well, I remember being a kid and like walking into like Applebee's, and it was like smoking or no smoking, and then just the entire bar, there's just a cloud of smoke surrounding that. And like even if you're in the non-smoking, you can still smell it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or like Village Inn or anything like that. I remember that hands down.
Think about this. You brought it up. There was, when I first started in the industry, there was smoking, non-smoking, and second-hand smoking. That's what they called it.
What?
Yes. This was a thing,
Wait,
and it was
what?
all open air situation.
Do you have to pay extra for secondhand smoke?
No. Okay, so you're all in the industry. So I'll explain. If you're a non-smoker, obviously you'd go, I want non-smoking. Well, then there's smoking. Well, in the division, if it's busy, you choose, kind of like if you want the patio, but you're not wanting to wait, you go inside. I mean, obviously it's way different than that in the aspect that you're right next to people smoking cigarettes. So
So you could like choose to have like a closer seat to the smokers.
Like if you want to get seated sooner, like
Right.
well, you can
Yeah,
be in the
I
secondhand
guess,
smoke
yeah.
area.
I mean,
That's so
I guess
funny.
in a case now, it'd be like having a table real close to a patio door.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
exactly. Yeah.
I can see the patio, so
or like next to the kitchen door or
so you can
something
get
like
the
that.
open air feel. I don't know. Can I get one close to the garage door, please?
Yeah.
Not quite
That's
outside,
insane
but
to me. I did not realize that was a thing.
oh, it's incredible to think about. And I was a smoker for quite a while, and it was more socially driven. I didn't smoke in the house or the car or anywhere else, but I don't know. And I get the case that somebody might put up, but at the same time, I mean, everybody knows that there's things that it's probably not good for you, right? So kind of one of those, like I said, that are good that we got rid of that.
Definitely. Definitely.
Well, since you said that you're aging yourself, what was your first serving job or bartending job?
My first job wasn't any of those. I started in the industry in 1999 as a prep cook.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna give you one of those like uphill both ways stories for $6 an hour. If there's any cooks listening to this, how about you put that in?
$6 an hour.
$6, and got there at 6 a.m, and I don't know, I might run on a little bit, but it was cooking. It was cooking, and then it graduated into, if anybody knows what Stella's is, Stella's Blue Sky Diner was a place that. First of all, it was a little bit for older crowd, for like the diner feel, and then it was also for young children. They had milkshakes and sundaes and all the things that like diners would have, but they took a glass and they put it on their head, and then a server would pour it on their head. And sometimes they'd lay on the ground. They'd get 10, 15 feet up and pour it in the glass and sometimes miss, but sometimes make it. So there was a bit of skill on top of the fun of the miss,
I
right?
actually have a picture of me doing that at Stella's. We went after track practice, and we went there for my friend Jenna's birthday party. And I was laying on the ground, and I literally have them getting it on my face. So yeah, I
did the same thing.
Yeah, that was like such a like
You
a
better
Valley
look at your
kid thing.
pictures, guys.
Yeah.
Better look at your
You'll
pictures.
have to
I
find
know.
that picture. I don't
I
think
will.
I have any pictures.
It wasn't
of my
you.
It
I don't-
might be me.
Right?
You never
You
know.
served there, or that was where you
Yeah.
were?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so in the progression of my career in the service industry, not too long after I started cooking, to get a little bit out of the kitchen, I started serving at Stella's and pouring the milkshakes, and then it just transitioned into getting out. I'm a social butterfly. The kitchen's the kitchen. I progressed up to as high technically as you can get, not chef, but like I got to leading the they call it the wheel, if you know kitchen terms, of where you get all of the, it's kind of the opposite for a food runner, because there's one guy on the one side putting everything together, and then on the other side a food runner runs it, right? And they just check out what they're putting up an order on the ticket, and they place the ticket. Anyway, I got to the top of that ish, but I mean, my passion started as I started waiting tables, got to that. I loved every minute of it. I love serving over bartending, actually. And I just, it was super awesome. I worked there for, I think I had my last shift in 2011, right before they closed. I came in as a customer, and they were getting their asses handed to them. Pardon my French.
No, you're fine. Cut. Yeah,
I was sitting at the bar, and they were like, I was like, do you want me to help you? I totally will. And they were like, yeah. And so I got to serve a lunch, and kind of one of those sweet endings to, because it closed after that, and I was actually out of town at the time.
Because it shut down a couple times and then reopened.
Correct,
right? Okay.
correct. And I always was drawn back.
Yeah.
I went back 3 times. It closed down in just after, in 2001 maybe, and then it closed down. It didn't close in 2008, but it changed ownerships. They left it open,
Right. Okay.
and then in 2011 it ended.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a big part of my life, big part of my heart. Loved every minute of it.
So I had been there a lot as a kid. I met my godfather there, and we would after football games and stuff, we would go there and get and I can still picture and taste the milkshakes from there since I was a kid. And okay, so I do have one story from when we were there. Basically, we had just gotten done with a football game, and it was just a couple friends and our parents or whatever. And he the server put it on his, or was pouring the milkshake, and got a drop of it on my friend or whatever. And then he's like, well, since I spilled on you, I'll give you the chance to do the milkshake on me, basically, to the server.
Sure, did that.
And dude, I watched this kid just dump the entire milkshake on the dude's head. And I felt so bad. Well,
Could be me.
I remember the guy being bald. I remember that, but I don't remember for sure. And I think
Okay.
he was relatively new
there
too. But that was the last time that I went there. I mean, I was probably
bald was not me.
14 or 15 or something like that.
That would have been the
Okay.
last time I've ever let
Okay.
anyone.
I think he was. I remember him being bald, but I could be wrong on that, I guess. But
So Kyle, since you were talking about Stella's and that was your first niche, so we always talked about working at the Ozarks.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite part about partying and working in the Ozarks?
Oh man, Tuesday.
Why that day?
Ironic, right? Tuesday, because you work all weekend. We would go out to a place that's not there anymore. It's called Topsider, or was called Topsider. I guess there's a living village. They built homes there, and it's still called Topsider. And it was service industry night. And basically the plan was get on a boat at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning and just cruise. I mean, it was so awesome. It was every Tuesday during the summer.
And you lived out there though, right?
I did for 4 seasons, which, accumulates to 4 years to make it the easiest, because it starts in this, it starts in
The
April,
spring, right?
April or May, and then it could be 2 seasons in a year if you spent right, like if you left in September and went back home.
Wait, did I miss this? You had a houseboat?
No.
Oh.
No, so he used to live in the Ozarks when he used to work
okay,
out there.
okay,
so he
okay.
would stay. You would stay with the Tuckers, right?
Correct.
And that's how he got like his bartending out there in the Ozarks. But they
That's
used
actually where I started
Yeah.
bartending.
Yeah.
I served there also, and then just through management and filling spots, I started bartending. So
and they kept him coming around though too. So I want to know why they kept you coming around. Like, did you build regulars? Like, were you just like a crazy party
did they
animal?
like you or something?
Yeah.
Or like
maybe. These are my best friends. These are a couple of my best friends. So, and it's a lot of the ownership knowledge that I have. I owe to them. Just being around them as they were growing. They have done a spectacular job. They own 4 or 5 giant restaurants now, and I mean, George Tucker's my mentor. Like he's the man, and the way that he's done things and keeps us, the workers, in mind, and treats people well, and shows that with the money you don't have to be a tyrant, you don't have to treat people bad. I mean that's something that goosebumps, bro. Like
he does.
I do. I do, and I can't stress that enough. If you get a hold of somebody like that and learn from them, I mean, it's the world. It was my world. Like my transition was probably evident. Is that probably the wrong word? But
no,
anyway,
right.
it was inevitable, right? That I was going to go to this, but with his help, I mean, honestly, it's going from just wanting to buy a house to, I guess the example would be like buying a block, I guess, right? Like putting that into your perspective. Maybe you don't buy a block, but you now buying a house isn't so tough. Owning a restaurant or a bar isn't so tough because you had a good, and I guess this is just education in general, but hands-on, it's awesome. Sorry.
What brought you out to the Ozarks? Or did you already say that?
I felt Stella's not going in the right direction,
Okay.
and
they
I
didn't.
wasn't wrong.
And you wanted more, right?
Well, I wanted to get out of Des Moines for a
Okay.
little bit at the time. I wasn't going anywhere, right? And why not go with them on their journey? And another friend had a blast. A best friend of mine was down there. And so I was like, all right, make the jump. And they made it extra easy. Like, I probably wasn't supposed to be there, like I couch surfed for the summer and then became a manager the next year. So I earned my way into the house but they were totally cool with me, and I'm a pretty good roommate. So did the extra cleaning, kept my shit out of the way, but then I managed for 2 years down there, 2 summers. And then the 3rd summer, we had a disagreement, and it was a disagreement about money, and I'm pretty much not about money in the good way, right? Like I still care about it, but I believe if you worry less about the money and more about people and more about just making the right decisions, money will come. Okay.
Right.
And it doesn't come for everybody. And maybe I'm just super blessed, and I'll probably say that 1,000 times in this interview, but we had a disagreement in what I was going to get paid, and I felt like I needed to get paid more, and they didn't. And instead of make that an issue, I made a choice to step down. And then I had to make a decision on what I was going to do after that. But that summer, they were fine with it. I probably, they were my friends, and they did me a solid. They didn't, they let me work it out. And I didn't want to tax them because it was my decision. Like, I realized that they could pay somebody to do my job cheaper than what I wanted, and why wouldn't they, right? Like, it's really tough to transition from our side to the ownership side without having a bit of spite about the person that you're working for, right? Unless you
That's me.
okay.
That's our producer who's not here right now.
Okay.
Yep, there he is.
So learning that was a good lesson, a hard lesson, a good, I don't know if it's that hard. I made the decision. I tried to start another business that didn't work out. And then in the fall, we decided to go to Key West. And I was going to go to Key West for the winter. That's what people do. There's transitions all the time. I don't know if you guys know about like nomadic bartending, but
No, yeah.
you go either to, a lot of people come to the Ozarks, they bartend there, and then they go to Florida, like Fort Myers, or Key West, or the islands, and then or some of them go to Colorado to the ski resorts. They jump back and forth. So I was like, all right, sign me up. I even thought about going to Australia. Because their winter is our blah blah blah, the equator is our winter. I looked into it and it didn't end up happening, and got down to Key West. It's super expensive. We spent 7 days and we did a lot of partying. I found a job, they did not, and then it was a decision, and all my friends decided not to stay in Key West, and I was like, this can't happen, like I can't do this without you. It was either go with them to Miami, Florida, or stay with 16 people in a small house. I'm a little, and I kind of did the Ozark thing a little older than most. So I was like 30 years old, and I was like, I don't know, cramming myself into a place. So I chose to, in a whim, fly back to Des Moines. And I've been here ever since. And do I continue?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
You're killing it. Yeah.
So then I went to my friend.
Okay, that's enough. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. Yeah, keep going.
Well, so I went to my friend and I got a job at Saints. And I went back to, again, I wasn't a huge bartender at that time.
You're mostly serving.
Oh,
right? Yeah.
I mean, the only reason is to cover shifts that people didn't have. We didn't have somebody for, right? And I mean, it gave me time to learn bar tricks, right? Flip the bottles.
Yeah,
I'm not
flair.
I am no flair bartender, but I got a little bit.
And you
under
didn't
the
want to
belt.
do drinks.
Oh,
We could add you
Maybe
some flair.
maybe we'll give you an outtake.
I'll send you a
Entice
video
you.
of
Maybe
him.
You have to.
Maybe. All right. So I come back, Saints November 2012, and love Saints in Beaverdale. Serving. Well, I wasn't making enough money, and I was living with my brother and making decisions. I didn't have a car at the time, and these are when you kind of move back to Des Moines to find a wife. Just full disclosure, to be an adult. And I came back and I was like, all right, so, and it's really hard for me to be an adult. I am a 89% kid, 11% adult. I get to Saints, I get to serving in the Saints. It was okay money, but it wasn't as good. And so I put some leverage on my friend, and I was looking for other jobs, and I had found one bartending at Sam and Gabe's. You remember that on 86th?
No.
Anyway, it was over by Perkins on 86th.
Okay. Wait, what's that other bar that's over there?
Isn't it like down under?
Is it down under?
Well,
They have the dancing?
this was a
And then a
restaurant,
Flying Moose.
kind of a fine dining.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, and it wasn't a job that I wanted, but I mean, if here's a lesson for all you listeners, you have value, and if you know that you have value, that is a good tool to use. I don't want to say it's a good tool. Like, I don't want you to use it in a bad way, but you can. But it's a really good tool to know your value and to know that you're really good at something. And hey, believe me, they know it. The owners know it out there. They know who they got, and they should treat you as so.
Okay, I want to add on to that really quick, but continue your thought. It's just that, okay, so when you do have value in a restaurant or bar, wherever it is, like you said, it does, they do recognize that. And they usually will, especially, you know, for your case, Anna, like, you know, you make sure that everybody's taken care of, especially if you know that they're going to take care of the bar or restaurant. Whereas the opposite of it is there's people that feel like they deserve that value, but have never provided it. And that pisses me off.
I didn't say it wasn't tricky.
I know, but
I didn't say it wasn't tricky. And
Yeah, but
especially,
Jaydn's
you know,
he's a manager, so he
Yeah.
he deals with things like that all the time. And you were managing several different locations though.
but
at
they'll
one
be
point.
like, oh, well, I get this vacation offer. I can take 3 weeks off in a row. And it's like, no, dude, what have you done?
Yeah,
Like, you
to
don't
earn your
deserve
place.
this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that pisses me off. But like, whereas like you see the other people that are like, okay, you've been here every single day for 2 years. Like, yeah, you can take a vacation, you know, like.
I said it. Well, I tried to say it, but it's tricky, man.
Yeah,
This is
it
not
is.
easy.
It is, yeah.
And well, how about on the shoe on the other foot? You also, as a manager, you got to know what's going to hurt you, what's not going to hurt you, and what can't hurt you, right? Like, you got to take a little bit back from the person that you're that you're talking about, because from what I know about you, I don't know a lot about your career, but you've been at OP for quite a while, right?
Yeah, almost
so
10 years.
So
yeah.
then you definitely have your own clout, your
Right.
own.
Like customer base almost.
Well, that's
basically,
for
like,
sure.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, like, you have feeling for OP. You have. I'm blanking on what
I've been there
I'm looking
through the
for,
ups
but,
and downs and like.
right, but
Yeah.
I'm saying that this is something I always had, and this is something for all the listeners, that you're going to get that, and if you're fighting that, then you probably don't want to be where you're at, right?
Yep.
Like, if you're just there for the money, Tonic's not your spot.
Right. Yeah.
Like I just said, in all of my aspects, I have bartended and I have served, and I have spent more years in the working side than I did the owning side, and I loved every place I worked. And this industry is too open for you not to love where you work.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Or at least have some ownership to
Yeah.
where you work, because
Right.
it's not your pay.
Right.
It's not your pay. If you're a bartender or server, it is not your pay that's, and I've said this 1,000 times to you. It is not your pay that makes it.
Right.
And it's as easy as saying, dude, this is
The
real.
goosies,
I
dude.
want you to know that, because this is
Yeah.
my life. This is passion. This is my favorite part about this industry. I just got blessed enough to go to the next step.
Right.
And hopefully many, many people do. And I also don't want people to go after their owners, because they don't
Right.
have to put this amount of passion into their establishments, in the fact that they hire somebody like Jaydn to have the passion. They hire somebody, maybe they don't have the passion and they're just in for the money, but if they get somebody like Jaydn to run, or a Kyle, or an Anna, or a Haley, if they get the pleasure, to have somebody like us, hopefully they take care of us, right? And again, like Saints, going back to that, if that's okay,
Of course. Yeah.
I moved up really fast, because the Sam and Gabe's job wasn't really anything I wanted to do. I just used it because I knew I was a really good server, and I knew I was a really good worker, and I knew that they needed me to be there. And maybe I used it a little bit against my friend, and I'm pretty sure she knew it, right? But I was like, I want to be a bartender, because they made the most money at that time. And Saints bartending was like serving. It's just like OP you can have food. When
Right.
you're food and drinks, it's not like hustle bustle.
Yeah. It's still speed bar, but there is like an extra level to it. 'Cause you also
Right.
have
I mean,
food,
you
so-
almost have somebody, if you're a busier bar, you almost have somebody making the server drinks on their
Right.
own while you
Right.
take care of customers,
Yeah.
or you have a system where you pop around, right? So I used it against him. I was like, I got a bartender, or I got to go. Like, I can't make what I'm making at this point. I can't keep making what I'm making. I need to be a bartender. So what'd she do? And this is also a good story about how she transitioned me into bartending. She didn't give me a bartender. I didn't ask to be the bartender. I asked to have bartending shifts, right? So she worked me in. I worked from the bottom. If anybody knows this industry, I mean, you work a lesser position to make it to, or any job, right? I mean, you work a lesser position to get to where you'd like to be. So, I mean, I went from server bartender to eventually all bartender. And then that kind of puts me, because there was no place for me to go because the management was younger, and the wonderful ladies that I worked for, they weren't going anywhere. And then it was there was already 2 people ahead of me.
Then you became the GM from bartender to GM?
No. Well, yes, technically. I did something also. I used my,
I'm not making enough as a bartender. I want to be the GM.
No. GM was a switch of that people got to understand that is not the funnest. It's sometimes,
It's not. It's stressful.
it's not the most fun, but sometimes you have to make a step back to go forward. I know you've heard that. And if you haven't, then you're hearing it now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Even
Well,
in
you're
my-
doing
even-
it right
even
now.
in my
You're
career,
managing.
yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
So I technically was working. I was a professional bartender that didn't work on the weekends. Get that? Didn't work Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So I was, and I picked up the shifts, and I use this a lot here, is that I picked up the shifts that nobody wanted. I worked more on Sunday, Monday than I did any time in the week. I worked Saints Sunday afternoon, which is a very good shift. It was football, OP, you know what I'm talking about.
Same thing.
And then I worked Sunday nights at the Flying Moose, which was not very great, but gave me an opportunity to do what I do. And what I do is, obviously, you're
Talk.
getting it. Talk. And I built a base. And then my Sunday nights. So, and you got to have financial, I partied. So Friday, if I get through Friday, Saturday, I got Sunday, Monday money coming, right? Guaranteed. And then I worked both shifts, double shifts. I worked Sunday in the morning, Sunday at night, Monday in the morning, Monday at night, right? And then I went into Saints was so good. The people there were so good. We would work 4 to 8 and then be off. And then the night shift was 7 to midnight, basically, on the weekdays. That's cake.
Yeah.
And we'd be taking, 250 plus out of there a night on a 4 hour shift.
Right, yeah.
Right? Nothing.
That's nothing. Yeah,
Right.
that's awesome.
Bla-
That's a good deal.
And then Wednesday, I'd work one shift, and then Thursday, same. I'd work, maybe one of those was a closed shift, one was a mid, and Friday was off. And then I worked for another friend, finally picked up Fridays for another friend to do him a favor and to make more money, right? I mean, money is a driver. And then that place failed, and my buddy needed a job. Well, ironically, guess what was opening? Tonic, Court Avenue.
I was just gonna ask how you got from all those other places to here.
So I took really crap wage, which is awesome for my owners at the time. I mean, I understand the
So
concept.
you didn't originally own this when it opened?
No,
Nope.
no.
Okay, I never
So
knew
this
that.
so this opened in 2014, April 2014,
Year we graduated.
and so and so in
You
2000
still got goosebumps?
unfazed. I probably act younger than at least half of you. Anyways, 2014, my buddy needed a job. I wanted this job, and I was trying to negotiate. Well, they were offering $8 an hour to bartend as a GM, and $12 an hour to do management work. If you know anything about that, that's not that much.
No.
That's actually very little. But anyways, so I wanted the job though, and I wanted him to move into Beaverdale, where this hierarchy thing. I promised him a job to bartend. He took my position. No serving, because he wasn't a server type. I knew he'd be great in Beaverdale. He'd take care of the people that I was leaving, because I make relationships. That's what I do. I do not see somebody as a customer. They are a relationship. If anybody out there that knows me, Anna can vouch, these are relationships that I make here. Workers, customers, everybody. I made a shirt. It doesn't sell very well, but I made a shirt.
We don't just make drinks, we make best friends.
Right? How is not living in a world with best friends not the greatest thing ever, right? Anyways.
I love how much you love not only Tonic, but just the industry and like itself. Just like like just hearing you talk, like your passion in it and like your just like willingness to stay in and just move around, do what's best for you, but also best for your friends, build those customer bases is just like, so it's genuinely inspiring. And because I never knew this about you. So.
Well, and that's where like
Goosebumps.
Haley, yeah. I mean, like that's where Haley can relate though too. Like she would go and sit at bars and ask them to bar back.
Yeah.
And then now you're the bartender. I mean, like the main bartender at Bomb Bar.
Yeah.
So like that, it's like you do have to work your way up, but again, like you knew your value. You knew that like that was something that you wanted to go and do. And then he ended up being a manager here. And then I want to know how you obtained owning Tonic.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Will you let him talk?
Yeah, short story it right now.
Jeez, you're talking too much.
Yeah, seriously, Anna, tone it back.
Yeah, short story right now. Go.
Okay, so I got to be the GM here. Wouldn't let anybody touch it. I worked the first month. We lost both managers real quick. There was a GM at the time that I was taking his job because he just call it burnout was the best idea because pretty certain that gentleman loves his job right now and is probably blessed that he is no longer doing that, right? Because there's a lot to be said about those things too, is where you've acquired a job where taking blessings in your failures or your missteps or blah, 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 right? So I worked ridiculously hard in the month of August for sure, and it probably continued, but August is just the one I remember. I covered 4 open to close shifts for the whole month. I was not just hiring people to hire people. I ended up getting to hire all of my friends at the time, and creating that environment. And then what do? They do what I do. And I've said this to Anna 1,000 times. Also, I'm going to say that a lot, I guess. But I hire a portion of me. I hire people like me because I'm easily taken advantage of if I get taken advantage of, right? So if I keep the people that are helping me and running my business while I'm not there, if they're a portion of me, that's what people want. And so
have you ever like had problems with that where like you mentioned like you hire friends and stuff like that where it's like
yes.
Putting it that way is the best way to put it, where it's like it's your friend, but it's, like you said, it is a part of you. But also, what problems have you had where like you hire a friend or something like that, and maybe it doesn't work out the way you expected it to?
Taking advantage of the situation.
Right,
I mean, you even know that feeling,
right? Yeah.
You know, it's just a little more extreme. And yes, guess what? It's caused rifts, but generally, I've had pretty good luck. I mean, there's only in the 10 years I've ran/owned, I mean, there's been a portion, and it gets to, you know,
He doesn't like to fire people.
I don't. I like to dock their hours.
Quit and go to Florida and then get hired back.
Well, I don't. She was always welcome.
Yeah, of course. No, we just give her shit a lot.
No. But I like. Okay, tooting a little bit of Anna's horn is she does know her limits and where her stress levels are.
Right.
So she didn't ruin Tonic. She left, right? So I don't got no problem with that. And we've talked multiple times where, Anna, you want to go work somewhere? I mean, this is segueing into something else, but like, I don't own anybody. I don't own your decisions, your situations where bars I know have said you can't go in that bar because you work at this bar. Come on. I mean, you know what the biggest compliment I've had is where someone goes to work at another one and they come back to me because they love working here and they realize, you know, on both sides, it's, I know and I think I already know the caliber of work, but sometimes somebody needs a reminder of how good they have it. Right. And I try to have it as good as possible. Right. I'm not perfect. So there's plenty of things to work on always. But for the most part, like I've been pretty lucky where when somebody's overstaying their welcome, they have quit or they have left for other industries, where maybe it's just burnout. Right. And then, so just trying to finish up the career that has lasted forever.
No, you're fine. This is so interesting. And I think people would genuinely like to know about this because, I mean, you are, a staple to downtown Court Avenue and the Tonic in general. So it's like.
I hope to be here for another
Literally,
50 years.
Yeah, people ask, like, is KP working? No. Who's the owner? I know the owner. Like, it's like so funny. Like, oh, you've probably seen him. You probably know of him. But, like, do you actually know him?
You can,
or, like, they say,
you can
like,
divulge
they
it.
call
Well,
Say, tell them.
No,
tell them what
they
I say.
literally- like, they
tell them what
literally
I
say-
say.
So
I don't know you.
That's not it. That's not it. I figured it would be on cue.
What?
What do I say when somebody says they know me?
I know him too. That's great.
Or those are not my friends. They're not coming in to ask.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That
so
too.
treat them like just any other customer. There's no reason they would never do that.
So I have a funny story about how you and I met. This was before I had done video here before, but I don't think you were here when I did
No,
it.
it was during drag brunch and Sean was here and he was
yes,
doing something.
because I was hired through Sean,
Yep.
and then I think we had maybe run into each other or something like that. But I actually met you, like talked to you for the first time in person in a men's restroom.
Oh man.
All right.
At Wellman's, and we were both pretty
Smoked.
lit up at that point. But I just
Was he wearing his helmet?
I think you were. I think you were wearing the football helmet or whatever it was. The
Fucking
Skateboard.
skateboard helmet.
Scooter helmet.
Yes. No, because I was there. This was maybe a couple years ago or something like that. But we were there after volleyball one night, and I was just in the bathroom, just minding my own business. And then you came in, and you just started talking to me. We just started like shooting the shit, and then afterwards, because I noticed you came to I think we were at Wellman's on Ingersoll, and I like saw you come in with Sean, and then I remember your friend like talked to me into the bathroom for like a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, that's the owner of Tonic." And I was like, "Oh shit, that's awesome."
I want to know why you wanted to own Tonic though, in general.
It's coming.
Say it. Speed it
Yeah,
out.
sorry.
Yeah.
I derailed.
No, it's all
you're
it's
fine.
all it's
On
all
the
good.
edge of my
It's all
seat.
good. No, well,
So you were the GM. You had
GM.
some friends.
And I made it my own.
Mm-hmm.
So preface the way that I made is bogeys. You have never heard of that, but it's the old Flying Moose.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
my whatever is your bar. You all have had a bar where you went or not, but most people have a go-to where they go home or bomb bar, right? I mean, she called you
And
okay.
Tonic as
yeah.
well.
Well,
Those
yeah,
are
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
two
Nope,
bars
nope.
down here.
I get it.
for
I get
sure.
it. But
Definitely.
Liar.
but Bogies was my go-to. I'd go there 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
I mean, this is in my early 20s, so I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't have anything going on. I would go to Bogies. That's where all my friends meet. That's, cheersy, ironic, stupid, whatever you want to call it, but that's it. I would go there and not drink sometimes.
Just
Very
to hang
little,
out.
but I would,
Yeah.
just to be around my friends. And then my friend group grew by all that. We had our little parties and stuff, but like they were my people, right? So, I mean, to have that, why not? I mean, that's dream stuff, right? And then, so I got an opportunity to do this, which the Saints guys, they did it right in a sense, and they gave a lot of trust to people. That didn't always work out, and I don't think that anyway. So the Saints in Beaverdale was hometown bar style, right? That was my neighborhood when I was there, right? I came down to Tonic. I still went back to Beaverdale all the time. It was my go-to at the time until I worked at Tonic all the time, right? And then I brought most of those people generally down here, and then this became my spot. And then, so fast forward to 2015, I met my wife at Johnny's Hall of Fame of all places. And I'd known her for a long time, but never any sparks, right? Well, it happened. A month later, I flew to Arizona. 6 months later, she decided to move back here. July, I proposed. So we're fast forward to 2016. Now I have a wife, and we got married in 17, October 6th. right? Well, just before I got married on October 6th, and this all makes sense, is I got an offer to be a district manager of Saints Beaverdale, Beaver Tap, Waukee Saints. Well, actually, that wasn't one of the deals. It was just more of the Des Moines stores. It was moved from GM at Tonic to DM, district manager. And I'm like, I can't deal with this. I'm getting a wedding, but we'll talk about it. Well, we got married, got done, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. So then this is where I meet Anna eventually, because I didn't have Waukee at the time, but there was
some commotion going on at the Waukee
and
location.
I'd like to keep it
that's
there.
it.
Just some commotion. And then, they probably thought I was the axe man. I didn't have any intentions of firing anybody. And this guy, the guy that we just said,
Right.
doesn't like firing
I
people.
couldn't stand
get
it.
rid of people.
Couldn't stand it. So I end up firing like 3 GMs, and 2 are my best friends ever. And I'm just like, oh. Well, anyways, so I get around to a year, and I was turning these places around in my thoughts. I thought they were doing better. I also had to kill drinking in all the spots. I killed drinking where they could drink before, and talk about something where wears on you, because you have to have 3 GMs that, it's a captain. So you talk to your captains, you tell your captain to nothing no more. Well, these are all their friends. Well, and so that's what happened. And then I had to hire a new captain who was, what do you mean, tasting the Kool-Aid, right? So I got those in place, stopped drinking everywhere. And then that gets us to about a year. And then I heard that Tonic was coming up for sale. And I was like, wow, this is one of the hardest things I ever had to do was ask my owner if I could be in the, tell me that I can buy it, right? Asking them to buy their place, but it had been stated that it was for sale. Well, then wheels start racing, right? My dream, the place that I have put together for ever, it's mine. They let me do everything. And that's another aspect of this whole
Knowing the value and letting you do things.
Well, but running your own thing, if I'm trying to think of it, if a chair's broke, you fix it. You don't call your owner
Right.
to get it fixed. Those are little things, or at least text somebody that it's broken, right? Because there's times where that you it's something so simple. You walk in, you're like,
That's why you get mad at me when I tell you the chair's broken.
100. Well, no. I get mad when I find a chair that's not been told that it's broken, right? Chair in the.
I do tell him. I try to fix it.
Chair in the liquor room, and nobody told me.
Yeah.
How long's this been in there? And those are the the not glamorous things. But I heard it was for sale. I did my due diligence to find. I had already been talking to another person, which is a segue. I have partners, but I'd already been talking about somebody about getting a bar, and we were looking, and then this pops up, blessed, lucky, all these things, and I go to my buddy George, because he's the big money, he knows the things, and not that big numbers are easy to deal with, but when you think global. I don't know how to put this in words.
Think global, act local.
No, but I'm just saying, one time $1,000 for rent is so much money,
Right.
and then you own a house that's worth $100,000, right? And then you're like, oh, so $900 a month is not so bad. That's my rent, but I'm going towards something, right? Well, my buddy went from, hey, I'm gonna buy this $800,000 house and I'm going to flip it. Put that on your plate, right? But he did, and he made $100,000 off of it. Yeah. That's how rich people think, right? They don't worry about how it's going to be done. They worry about getting it done, and so I went to a great source, and I went to him with how much should I do? And he goes, lowball, and I'm like, I really want this. I love the car. I want to buy the car. What do I do? And he's like, just do it. And then I did. and I didn't do it very well, but I got to the place where I wanted to buy, and I bought it. And I'm like, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy that from
Cook in the kitchen
oh man,
to now owning your own bar.
right. And it happened just to keep the timelines. I bought this November 1st, 2018. I had never bought a house. I had no children.
Did you bought this before you'd bought a house?
You want to hear the irony?
Yeah.
I closed on my condo. I lived in Metro.
Yeah.
By the way, I lived in Metro Lofts for a year and a half. And then it was kind of funny because I was transferring stuff from Metro to, kind of like moving on up.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they thought that there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right? A guy coming out of Metro going straight into the Soko Lofts.
Yeah.
Right? So anyways, that's where I live, by the way.
And the address will be in the description below.
Perfect. Come on by. No, but I closed on the bar and the house November 1st, 2018.
Okay.
My wife was pregnant with our daughter. And she was set to give birth December 7th, she was set to give birth February 2019. So she was pregnant. And just a little life in there is my wife went in bed rest on November 17th,
Right before.
2018.
So you're trying to buy this place, and then
No. We bought
Oh, you
the
already
house
bought it.
and didn't unpack anything. And my wife goes into labor and went into bed rest November 17th or 18th or so.
Wow.
And was in bed rest for a month. And my daughter was born December 17th, 2018.
Yep.
So you go from not owning a house, not owning a bar,
To having
not
every-
having any kids,
Yeah, to having
just
it.
boom,
Boom.
it's all there.
In a month and a half.
Yeah, that's
Yay.
crazy.
You're
But-
running around everywhere.
Hindsight, I wouldn't have it any other way. You get through the trials and tribulations, and this was the easiest part of all of it. I knew what it could do. I knew that, I don't know. And then, my wonderful wife, my beautiful child, and then this stuff. Like, I love bringing my kids in here. They all know. I want all my customers to know.
Which actually reminds me, from the video that I did here last time, I have a ton of footage of your son that I didn't put it in the video or anything
Okay.
like that, but I was gonna send that
Hiding
to you.
his
I have to
sandals in the pool table.
Yes.
and
Yes.
climbing on the pool table. There's one point where one of the bartenders is like holding him, and he's like holding like a mixing cup, and he's just like looking inside of it. Like,
He's awfully cute,
He is
too.
very cute.
He's very ornery.
Tonic Court Avenue, the home of the 5-year-old bartender.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ada, you can't keep her out from behind her.
No.
Best bartender in all
Ever.
of downtown.
She definitely likes, people will give her money, too. Like, all of our regulars look forward
Hate
to like, seeing them and things like that.
Encouragement of something totally not needed. Even.
They're already making more tips than me, probably.
Well, yeah.
But
Yep.
but it just goes back to what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's all about having a family environment. That whole saying where it takes a village. I mean, this is my village. These are my people. These are my family. I can't say enough. I hopefully there's much more in store, and I'm just truly blessed.
What's your? Sorry, go ahead.
No.
What are you gonna say? Okay, what's your best piece of advice for either coming into the service industry as a new person, or if you've been here for 10 years, or if you want to, buy your own bar? Like, what's your best piece of advice for the service industry, just in general? It's kind of broad.
The toughest one is you have to be a manager in some fashion. You have to manage. You have to do orders. You have to do inventory. You have to do that. That is so key. You can't just go. I mean, you can go. You can do whatever you want, right? But my biggest is manage for someone. Do something. Like, make sure that you're learning the behind the scenes as well as the in front, because the in front is a big part of it. But learning that stuff, or how about just hitting people up that are owners, and that stuff. coincides, right? I mean, while you're doing that, you learn, you ask questions.
Well, I mean, Andrew and Caleb call you too with questions
Love
sometimes.
it.
I always call him and get input from you every once in a while.
In my defense, Bomb Bar kind of is like the sister bar to Tonic, I feel like.
Got no problems.
Because what we didn't explain earlier is that when when Bomb Bar isn't open, I always come straight to Tonic. Like,
as well.
Only when it's not open, though. Well, I'm just kidding.
Well, I believe that Caleb and Andrew will say that if I'm not here, which is a lot, because this is my home and it's almost to a fault, but at the same time, I go there. I go there all the time.
And also, I don't know if you want to leave this in or not, but you did say that Bomb Bar started here. Like, it was built here.
That needs a confirmation, maybe a text message to someone,
we'll
and
get a
make
fact
sure
checker on that.
and make sure that that's what they want to say. But sure,
Well, because
I love every one of those people.
I was gonna say right before Bomb Bar opened, I was kind of like hanging out around with those guys and stuff because of my cousin, and I would say every time before Bomb Bar opened, we would always meet here. Like, I would always meet all of them here and stuff.
I love every one of them. Love everyone that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And wish them all the success in the world, and anything I can do to help pretty much anyone. I mean, I would help anybody who's got questions or anything. No text messages and DMs or any of that stuff that you come straight to the source. Not
You barely answer the phone. What are you talking about?
I said, catch me here.
Yeah.
Oh,
He said,
that
"Don't
just
text
reminded me. Okay, this is something that I've been meaning to talk to you about.
Now that you're in person.
Because we have,
Cut.
because I've brought this up before. Okay, there was a hot minute where you would call me like super early in the morning.
Yeah, I was just thinking about if you were going to bring
Phone
this
tag?
up. Where no, I
think
sitting,
you were calling
I'm-
a different Jaydn though. Because there was one time I was in Chicago and I got a phone call.
You're not wrong.
Because I got like
You ain't-
multiple calls and texts from
you
you
ain't
that I was
busting a
like,
story.
he's not talking to me.
But guess what? They probably turned into an hour-long conversation. I remember sitting
Definitely
outside
did.
the gym, and I was like, Jade, but you know what? Maybe God wanted me to talk to you
It
today.
was meant to be that
Yeah.
way.
You know,
Well,
maybe
'cause
that fate said, hey, Jaden,
most-
talk to Kyle today for an hour.
The most recent one, I was in Chicago and I was up early and I think I got a phone call from you at like 8 in the morning or something like that. And it was just like quick phone call. Like before I could even look at my phone, you were already like going to voicemail. And then I got the voicemail and it was, Jaydn, clock out.
I don't work there.
I was like, I don't think this is for me. And then there's a couple times too where I got like texts and stuff too where it was the same thing basically, like clock out, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I was supposed to clock in. I don't know.
Is this you just now, like, correcting him and telling him, I
I've
think you're
never
calling the
said
wrong
it to you
person?
before. I don't think.
Yeah,
Well,
I
maybe
know.
I was just covering all bases. You know, like,
Let's
Just
just
going
text
through-
all the Jaydns
No,
in my phone.
I mean,
just in case.
if I got the right one, you know.
And
One
that-
will respond with saying, okay, I will. Like,
And that's how you know you're a good bar owner. You got to cover all your bases. You got to cover every single base, no matter what, and make
Nope.
sure that it's taken care of.
Thanks. I didn't know what to go with there. Yeah, no. I'm here for everybody. I mean, it goes down to even silly things like if you ever see a truck driver, he may be upset or do something that you don't like, but like I'm talking about the service guys that drop things off. If you ever are here when I'm here and they're here, you will see. Grab a Red Bull. Can I do anything to help you? You know, like, because they work so hard, and I don't. I mean, I really don't. I love what I do, so it's not work at all, and I should do better, because you always want to pick things, and this is just a personal, a personal thing, is that as I'm getting older, my advice that you didn't ask for is, I've been working on things that, because I always ask older people than myself, and I think this is something that all the younger generation should do, is ask the older generation what they would have done if they could do it different. Like if you could go back, what's one thing? You know what they say? They say save money. That's what they say. Everyone says save money. But that's not the
So
only.
what would you do differently?
Have a car.
Because you're the older. You're the
save
older
money.
person.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
and you're catching a different human kind of in the fact that I've been so blessed. Is I also don't like going back and regretting something or not regretting, but changing something because of, Ashton Kutcher and the butterfly effect, right? Like, would my wife be my wife?
Yeah.
I love her with my heart and soul. Would my kids be my kids? That changes everything, right? But I mean, I would wait a little bit, like if you don't have money, don't have children, right? Because then you're adding another stress. But that's your choice to make. But I don't know. I'm just different, right? I didn't grow up with money. I had it kind of rough when I was young, and I didn't let those things stop me from
Becoming the person that you are.
person for sure. Did not let them stop being a person.
But doesn't it help you not judge people though too? Like kind of like how you're like, oh, I've
Agreed.
been there, I've seen that, I've done that. Like if I can live outside of what I went through as a kid, you can too. Like you're not like the perfect picture
it's
of
a-
that, but it's
it's a
more
tough-
like encouraging. You're
it's a
encouraging
tough-
to other people.
Yes, right. Being a example for sure. I would like to be known as an example of someone that you could come to, like, or that somebody could talk to for any reason, because what I do like to say is that everybody has it. Somebody out there has it worse than you. Like you think yours is the worst? No, it's not. Even mine was bad, but it's not bad. It somebody out there has it worse and they're getting by. Why can't I get by? And then figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I just can't stress that enough. And just knowing what was your fault and what was not your fault, or what you can control or you can't control. I guess that maybe a little. The saving of money. I mean, if you really want it, like start a Roth IRA now. How about that? That's a direct, straight to the point. If you're 22, start a $25 a month. I did this myself. I'm not a hypocrite. I worked for a financial firm for like 6 days. It was like
I was gonna say
it was 6 months. It was 6 months. It was 6 months. But they taught me to silly things like once you know what you're talking about, but invest the difference. Like I had an idea of going around to service industries and just talking to people about this, like getting people together, like owners of myself, like, hey, can I talk to your staff real quick? And I just don't know how the finance person makes any money at this. So I don't know if they would donate their time, but I mean, $25 a month. I started, I put away, I started $25 a month because I didn't think I could do it, but I was like, all right, what can you deal with, right? $25 a month. And then knowing to up it. It took me a while to up it, but I sold furniture for a year. It was so much fun, but not fun. And I saved a chunk of change by putting away money, in a 401k through the company. But I built it up. I have somewhere in the neighborhood of 125,000 built up, which is kind of down, but it's supposed to go up and down. Don't look at it every day, okay?
Right, yeah.
But I continue to put. Right now, I still put $350 a month in an IRA. Roth is taxable, and I don't mean to get into something, but you'll figure it out. But put it in a Roth. Your money's taxed now, not later, and the only thing that they tax is your interest coming out.
Okay.
Right? But open a Roth IRA now, today, and
Do it.
you'll never regret it.
Never regret. No regrets.
And I upped it 3 times to get to 350.
Okay.
How old were you when you started your Roth IRA?
20. I want to say it was earlier, but I'll go with 24. I know it was for a fact.
Okay.
Cool.
By 24 for sure, and it was, like I said, $25 a month. Anybody can pretty much handle that, and just have that on the backside. Like know that and it goes through your checking account. You don't see it. If you don't have a checking account, get one.
Yeah.
Or you probably have a reason for not having one.
Probably. Okay, well, so we're just over an hour. Do you have anything else you want to say for the actual podcast before we go into our exclusive uncensored Patreon where we get all of your juicy, secret, dirty stories? The look on your face.
There's not very many.
We're going to get down to why you've been calling me at 8 a.m.
It's because I was waking up, Jaydn.
No, okay. Well, dude, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for talking with us and for letting us come into Tonic and put all our stuff everywhere. And I know you've been wanting us to be here for a while, and so I thank you for being also patient with us while we kind of got everything figured out. And this is a episode we've definitely, it's long awaited for sure.
Cool.
And now everybody here and everybody watching can now say that they know the owner. So like, make sure you say that when you come into Tonic.
Better listen to the whole episode if that's the excerpt.
Yeah, you'll get great treatment here.
If that's the expert or the excerpt that you hear,
If you tell me you know him, we're fighting.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Nothing bad could happen from it. All right, well, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, all the good stuff. And let's do our sign off.
Our jingle.
Our little jingle.
You know it.
For richer, for poor. Thank you for watching Poor People.
Watch.
I did it.
He did it last week.
You got it?
I did.
Oh.